Gonna make the world safe for democracy, aren't you?
What is democracy?
It's got something to do with young men killing each other, I believe.
When it comes my turn, will you want me to go?
For democracy, any man would give his only begotten son.
What is democracy?
The plan.
Imagine a world with no wars, a world where the defense budget can be eliminated, allocating that funding towards better healthcare, easier and faster access to advanced medicines and treatments, curing cancer and a vast amount of other diseases. Tech and AI advancements solving physical disabilities, limb replacement, or curing the blind and deaf. A global health agency could immediately implement necessary precautions to limit travel, flights, or lockdown orders to prevent possible future pandemics or to slow spread of disease. They wouldn't have to wait for each country's government to make decisions that could be made too late. This agency would have the ability to allocate funding directly to the most prioritized research, fast-tracking approvals on vaccines and formulating the use instruction of each.
Global warming.
Carbon emissions and greenhouse gases will be something of the distant past. By 2035, governments are hoping cities will be powered by fusion reactors. These reactors will produce very small amounts of waste when compared to even nuclear. Scientists describe it as harnessing a miniature sun. Until then, solar, wind, and tidal energy systems will be expanded as we move further and further from fossil fuels. Mass available transit will be in close proximity to housing, shopping, and rec areas, making the need for car ownership a thing of the past. Most personal car ownership will actually be banned, thus reducing the amount of spending needed to rebuild and repair highway infrastructure. Bikes, scooters, and electric cars, self-driving taxis will be available to suit our needs. Flying taxis will take us on those longer trips as simply as calling an Uber. People will move into urban centers due to the ease of accessibility and cheap cost of living. With most moving into urban areas, the 15-minute cities are sought after. Community living with small-town vibes. Companies such as Amazon will be able to fulfill orders within a day, possibly in hours. Virtual reality makes it possible to shop, go to clubs, even do 18 virtual holes of golf with friends without even leaving home. Automated maintenance can look after issues such as lawn care and snow removal. Doctors will be able to assess you through virtual reality. AI will be able to read blood pressure, temperature, and pulse. Retina scans will record pupil dilation. Blood work and urine tests will be able to be done and processed from home as well. All information is instantly analyzed to determine if medical care is needed. If an emergency is determined, a transport vehicle will be immediately dispatched. If not, medications can be sent by drone within the hour. This system frees up the emergency departments and keeps the doctors and nurses where they are needed. Security cameras throughout the city will be linked with AI immediately alerting police if a possible crime is taking place. With vehicle ownership being disposed of, there will be no more carjackings or auto theft, lessening pressure on police forces, insurance fees, and first responders. Possession of firearms won't be permitted within a personal residence. You may still purchase firearms, but they will have to be kept in vaults at ranges. Permits to hunt in permitted zones can be obtained, but they will be expensive and only available through a lottery. Protesting will be done by permit and in a controlled setting, online petitions being the recommended choice to voice concern. Dissent and crime won't be tolerated. Megacorporations, along with government, will buy up unwanted rural areas, converting it into protected forests, wildlife sanctuaries, and wetlands. Corporate farms will own and operate mass sections of land, maximizing crops and separating each farm into divisions or zones. Turkey, chickens, beef, dairy, and pig farms will be a story we tell our grandkids of. All these meats and proteins are now grown in labs. Due to health benefits, most people will limit meat intake to only once or twice per week. Proteins can easily be supplemented by cricket and mealworm flour. Baked into breads, added to soups, salad dressings and sauces, and even used to make delicious protein shakes to start your day. The amount of land needed to farm will be less than a third of what it was before. There will be little need to grow feed corn, hay, and pasture fields will no longer be needed. Waterways and groundwater will improve, no longer being poisoned and polluted by animal wastes and chemical runoff. These now unneeded areas can return to natural environments, giving more protection to wildlife.
Global identification and borders.
Distribution and trade will be fast-tracked with the allocation of open border trade policies. Storage sites will be set up for grains and other food stores. There will be global oil and gas reserves to be distributed and used mainly by industry. One country will no longer be able to affect oil prices by increased or decreased production. Distribution sites can be set in areas that streamline delivery, with food and resources being allocated to each zone by a per capita basis. Countries not willing to take part will have embargoes placed upon them, cutting off all ability to buy and sell outside of their country. Any country that's part of the unification will risk immediate embargoes as well if caught trading with those outside the Union. The implications from lack of cooperation will be immediate and severe. This will be both for countries and citizens alike. With the introduction of a world currency, a global minimum wage is set with a guaranteed basic income provided to everyone possessing a digital identification. This identification will include a social credit score, giving bonuses to those who maintain a positive impact, both socially, financially, as well as keeping a small carbon footprint. This ID can be used to buy and sell items, swiped for transit, used to access medical and dental records, as well as acting as your digital passport to travel.
Information and elections.
The arise of misinformation and disinformation brought on the banning of independent media and podcasts. They were being used to fuel conspiracy theories, in turn causing protest and social dissent. Today, proper licensing needs to be obtained, enabling you to post news, educational, or political content or opinions on social media. AI programs can approve or deny content within seconds. State-sponsored news now providing all information regarding each district. On the world stage, global leaders will be appointed by the majority vote of stakeholders. Political parties have been abolished due to party ideology. Opposing views caused friction and delay, preventing necessary actions to be implemented. People no longer vote for a president or prime minister. Rather, now voting for district representatives. Most policies and laws are decided and set in place by the Global Council, with the same laws in effect worldwide. District representatives running things more like a CEO working within set parameters. Is it possible to create a world without conflict, eliminate hunger and poverty? Can we truly have all the world leaders working in unison to a better future? The question is, will this bring everyone closer, or will the divide between wealth and freedom grow further apart?
Probable reality.
The formulation of a single world government would require every nation to agree and abide. What of those who don't comply? The only way to achieve compliance is through force, either with military action, sanctions, or embargoes. Make things difficult or impossible to function. Not just as a nation, but by implementing this same course of action onto the population. Increasing costs of fuel to the point you believe buying an electric car is a smart choice. Raising the costs of food to the point that supplementing your meat proteins with a cricket shake doesn't seem so bad. The biggest talking point today is climate change. Do you really think you will be permitted multiple flights per year to sip coolers in the Dominican? That's not climate friendly, is it? That nice and simple digital passport, yeah, it's also a tracker. Government will know when you sleep or wake, when and where, and the time you work, shop, exercise, or even go to the bathroom. That passport will be linked to surveillance city and worldwide, the universal income that combated poverty. It's not there to help the poor make ends meet, no. With the advancements of robotics and AI, 2/3 of the jobs we once did will be eliminated. Don't worry though, universal income will be enough to survive. But if you break the rules, your digital currency can be frozen or seized immediately. As for the rural people flocking to the 15-minute cities for convenience and affordability, in reality, car insurance, heat, and hydro in small towns became too expensive. Mandatory home upgrades and increases to property taxes will force people from their homes. Providing infrastructure, medical, and consumer goods to a town of a few thousand people is a waste of funding and resources. The land is better suited as green space. Bylaws and regulations will eventually have you removed from your home, willing or not. Megacorporations will control and supply everything. There will be no more small business other than being a subcontractor or a franchise owner. The costs to do business will crush small companies and prevent others from entry. Democracy in the terms you believe is just smoke and mirrors giving you the impression of choice. The real decisions are made by unelected officials. The advancements in virtual reality will slowly suck away everyone's ambitions to actually partake in real life. Look at today. Too many are already living life through social media, dedicating hours a day to TikTok reels. Most teens are satisfied sitting at a computer from morning until night. 2 generations of young adults who have given up any hope of owning a home. Our youth is being stripped of dreams and ambition, thus leading to compliance. A few generations of indoctrination, suppression of information, and media control. There will only be a handful of people left who understand what freedoms once were. As for wealth, the elites will have it all. They will be enjoying their yachts and private islands, driving supercars and flying in private jets. They will be relaxing at lakefront properties, enjoying steak and lobster dinners. They will live truly amazing lives, the world honestly their private playground, while we live ours in a virtual world snacking on crickets, because of global warming and such. Thanks for watching.